Namaskar and a very good morning. Welcome to the audio cast from Kotak Securities. I'm your host and guide, Anindya Bannerjee. आज RBI policy day है. So let's talk about the expectations. Expectation from interest rates, 40 से 50 basis point hike. CRR, possibly no hike, क्योंकि liquidity, excess जो liquidity था, that is now gradually coming down. So there is no need for CRR to be raised right now. And third, RBI may increase their forecast on inflation. And we have to also see what RBI says about growth. Globally, central banks का policy approach looks to be like front-loading the rate cuts. मतलब to do hikes pretty fast and then go slow and pause. क्योंकि अगर high inflation को control करना है, you have to raise rates pretty fast to hit demand. Otherwise, inflation can get entrenched and it can become a losing game later on. But the point is, it's a delicate balance. Because if you're going to hit demand by raising rates rapidly, there's going to be repercussions on financial markets, there's going to be negative repercussions for the broader economy. It's a very delicate balance because you're going to hit growth, but you don't want to hit growth so much that it leads to very low growth in major emerging economies and recessions in the developed economies. So, ये जो fine balance है, we have to see how the central banks are able to do it, because track record says they have not been so successful in the past. But history doesn't mean the future is going to be an exact replica of that. But it definitely means that volatility is going to be high in the risky assets globally. When inflation is high, central banks are trying to catch hold of inflation and trying to sacrifice growth. That is the time when financial volatility is pretty high and price multiples, they tend to shrink. And that's what we are seeing over the last 7-8 months in Indian equity markets, global equity markets, etc. So, this situation, what is going to be the impact on the dollar rupee? Dollar rupee, as we all know, for almost 1 month, it has become the least volatile currency pair in the world. Now that has only happened because of RBI's very aggressive intervention, or in ways RBI's very aggressive dollar selling. क्योंकि ये एक महीना में FPI outflow has continued, carry trade unwinding has happened, and external factors have been hostile. In spite of all this, Indian rupee or dollar rupee is one of the least volatile currencies in the world. It clearly says that the central bank is intervening to ensure that. The question is, how long will RBI keep ensuring that dollar rupee stays in this very narrow range of 77.40 and 77.80 on the spot? Because this is a simply untenable feature. Because RBI has said in the past that we don't target any price level, but we target volatility. In other words, it means that RBI wants to keep the Indian rupee as an average performer amongst its peers. Now that means that if dollar continues to rise against emerging market currencies over the next few weeks, then RBI may allow the dollar rupee to drift higher as well. So therefore, we are positioned for an up move. Now the question is, आज का RBI policy, what can be the impact on the USDINR? Now, RBI rate increase, rate cut, CRR, etc., how they impact the USDINR is very contextual and it keeps on changing. Now, last जो surprise rate hike था and CRR hike था on May 4th, it had a very negative impact on the Indian rupee. And as people who have been following our Telegram channels and following our podcasts, they have come across this phrase that post the surprise hike, Indian rupee became an underperformer from an outperformer. Because ये जो hikes हो रहा है, that is actually causing more outflows from the equity and bond, and possibly the carry traders are not coming in a big way to offset that kind of outflow. Because when rates go up, it incentivizes carry traders to come in. But possibly at current rates, the carry traders are not so much incentivized to come in, and they see more depreciation pressure. So therefore, अगर वही trend continue रहता है और वही theme continue रहता है, तो आज very hawkish central bank may have a negative impact on the rupee. हो सकता है कि just as a knee-jerk reaction, Indian rupee appreciates. But as we saw even on May 4th, that May 4th ko it appreciated, but May 5th said there was a sharp depreciation. Aaj, similar thing may happen. Initially, it may appreciate if RBI hikes by 50 basis point and sounds very hawkish, and then it may eventually depreciate. So therefore, if there is a pullback in the USDINR, one can be long using options or futures. Stop loss remains 77.40 के नीचे on a closing basis. 77.40 के नीचे अगर spot close हो रहा है, spot basis का मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, then you can exit your long positions on options or futures. But जब तक 77.40 के ऊपर spot hold कर रहा है, तब तक it's going to be upward. Futures में क्योंकि the premium is now 15 to 18 पैसा, 77.40 would translate around 57.56 58 के आसपास. But that premium on the futures keeps on shrinking every day. So 77.40 is the critical support. जब तक उसके ऊपर है, the bias is upward. 77.80 on the spot is a major resistance. उसके beyond it comes around 77.40-50 के आसपास. But of course, RBI is going to be there at every level, trying to slow the pace of depreciation. But the pressure is increasing, and just keep an eye on the oil prices. 121 के ऊपर है Brent, and various news coming out from Libya, from say Norway and other places are talking about further disruptions to oil supplies. So that's bullish news for oil, and what's bullish news for oil at 121 is bearish news for the Indian rupee. So pressure is building up for the rupee to depreciate. So position yourself accordingly. With such low walls, we have to be careful on our option short positions. Maybe we need to be on the sidelines till the RBI policy. Post policy, we'll update you through our Telegram channel. So if you are not there on the Telegram channel, ensure that you subscribe to Kotak Securities Currency corner on the Telegram, because there we keep on sharing trades, live updates, ideas, everything. So if you are not there, definitely subscribe to our Telegram channel. On the crosses, we should be seeing high volatile moves, but overall it's maybe range bound and choppy. So that's it, folks. This is Anindya Bannerjee signing off. A fantastic day ahead.